After my parents passed away, the Taylors took care of me. To repay them, I agreed to marry into the family, and my daughter took the Taylor surname. She bears a strong resemblance to Sophia Taylor, both beautiful and equally aloof. For 7 years, I came home from work on time every day to cook and take care of the household. But that day I got promoted, the dinner ran late, and when I returned home, I discovered Sophia Taylor had changed the door lock code. Lily Taylor heard me knocking, but didn't come to open the door. I sat downstairs from the apartment all night. The next day, I filed for divorce. All because you spent one night outside? Is that enough reason to get a divorce? Sophia Taylor asked with a puzzled look. I said coldly, is that really necessary? Divorce is fine, but don't you think you can take Lily away? Her surname is Taylor. Sophia Taylor said to me in a domineering tone. I stood in front of her, glanced sideways at Lily Taylor, sitting on the sofa with a face full of tension, then smiled and said, don't worry, I'll give up custody of her. I already quit the job you arranged for me. I also have a car in my name that I don't want. Consider child support for her. Hearing me voluntarily give up custody, Lily Taylor finally breathed a sigh of relief. After all, she's already 5 and can tell who can give her a better life. Sophia Taylor frowned and stared at me, seemingly unable to understand why I would do such a thing. After quite a while, she finally spoke. If you're upset because of what happened last night, I can promise you I will never change the door lock code again. After so many years of marriage, this was the first time she had bowed her head voluntarily, but she only thought I was angry because of the lock. Of course, that wasn't the case. Over the years, their attitude toward me and Mr. and Mrs. Taylor has gotten worse and worse, especially after they introduced me to a job. In their eyes, I became a parasite dependent on them. I heard Mrs. Taylor call me lazy and gluttonous more than once behind my back. If they hadn't forced me to change jobs, I could have had a career I actually liked. Maybe because of family influence, Lily Taylor has distanced herself from me since she became sensible. At home, she never called me dad, always calling me Uncle Ethan, and only when there were outsiders around would she half-heartedly call me dad. In their eyes, besides commuting twice a day and taking care of their lives, anything I did was improper, and I was expected to agree with their opinions. So, if I came home late, I deserved to be locked out, because to them bringing up divorce over something like that was making a mountain out of a molehill. As for Sophia Taylor repeatedly staying out all night, that was perfectly justified. After all, she was the mistress of the house. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her. After she signed the divorce papers, I went to the guest room to pack my pitifully small suitcase. Sophia Taylor followed behind me, nagging about dividing the property. I will hire the best lawyer. Don't you dare take a penny from our family, and don't come crying later. I locked my suitcase and straightened my back. I have no intention of taking your family's money. You don't need to worry about that at all. All the rehearsed arguments Sophia Taylor had prepared choked in her throat. She gaped but couldn't utter a single word. I dragged my suitcase to the door and, without thinking, glanced at the lock. Suddenly, I found it rather cute. If it weren't for that lock, I might still be stuck in this quagmire with no way out. Just as I was about to step out the door, Lily Taylor suddenly spoke up. Uncle Ethan, will you come back again? Don't worry, I will never come back again. Be careful crossing the street from now on. Don't just keep playing. If she hadn't spoken first, I wouldn't have said these things to her. But after all, she is my daughter. Since she spoke first, I should give her an explanation. When I finished speaking, I turned and left. The moment I stepped out of the apartment building, a breeze carrying the faint scent of wild grass brushed my cheek. I couldn't help but take a deep breath. The shackles I had borne for years were finally lifted at that moment. After leaving, I returned to my hometown, a small village in Ohio. The old house, that was already dilapidated. Half of the back wall of the main room had collapsed, and repairing it would probably take a very long time. Fortunately, time is the one thing I have most of now. I went to a nearby town and bought a cheap 3-wheeler, then bought lots of cement, gravel, and sand, transporting the materials along country lanes at about 20 miles per hour. It was a bit tiring, but I enjoyed it. Since I was taken to New York by Mr. and Mrs. Taylor at 15, I hadn't relaxed like this in years. After graduating from college, I first worked at a startup. Though the pay wasn't much, I was happy every day. But later, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor insisted I quit that job and work at the formal organization they found for me. Although the job had better benefits than before and was closer to home, I had to face a group of colleagues several rounds older than me every day and deal with all kinds of scheming. My enthusiasm had long since been worn away. In those days, the easiest moments each day were sneaking in a couple of game rounds while Sophia Taylor stayed out all night. Sophia Taylor's girlfriends always said she had married a good husband. He kept the house in perfect order and never bothered her, so she could go out and have fun without worry. But whenever she heard this, Sophia Taylor would add with disgust, "Just when I'm enjoying myself, don't bring him up." Compared with a boring husband like me, she preferred clubbing, partying, and indulging herself. Before marrying me, she had already had 2 abortions. Mr. and Mrs. Taylor worried she might not be able to have children later, so they dumped this mess on me. I only learned about all of this after she gave birth to Lily Taylor. I even suspected Lily Taylor wasn't my biological daughter and secretly took some of her hair for a paternity test, which showed that she was indeed my child. As long as I was certain of that, it was enough. As for everything else, I no longer want to care. I filmed the process of fixing up the old house and posted the videos online. Unexpectedly, I gained 30,000 followers overnight. The videos surpassed 1 million views, and I even earned my first dollar income outside of my salary. The encouragement and interaction from viewers, coupled with a growing dollar income, quickly made me forget about the divorce. Until Sophia Taylor called me. It was one night. I had just finished uploading a video, opened a beer in the evening breeze, and my phone rang. Sophia Taylor's voice sounded a little agitated, and faint sizzling from a stove could be heard on the other end. "Hey, Ethan Johnson, how do you make your cola chicken wings? Lily wants some, and I don't know how." I was slightly taken aback and said, "She's losing her baby teeth. The doctor said sweets aren't recommended, but she insists on eating them. What can I do? You could make pepper and salt chicken wings. She used to love them. I don't know how to make them." Then go online and look up a tutorial. I'm not obligated to teach you how to cook. No sooner had I finished speaking than the voice on the other end of the line fell silent. I was about to hang up when Sophia Taylor finally asked, "Where are you now?" I took a sip of beer and said, "That's none of your business. Don't bother me again. I'm very busy. Long time no see." She had only said 2 words when I hung up. To prevent her from contacting me again, I blocked all her ways of reaching me, then drank beer in the evening breeze, feeling a lightness I had never known. That night, I slept in the recently restored main room and quietly reflected on the first half of my life. My parents were good people. In my memory, they never quarreled with our neighbors, nor did they ever beat or scold me. Maybe it really is true that good people don't get good returns. They had a car accident while working away from home, and when I saw them, there were only 2 small urns left. After that, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor appeared. They claimed to be friends of my parents and said they would take care of me in my parents' stead. They took me to New York so I could continue my studies in a new environment. My grades were pretty good, and I was eventually admitted to a prestigious university ranked among the top 100 in the state. On the day I received the acceptance letter, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor were very happy and even held a banquet for me. It was at that banquet that I first met Sophia Taylor. She had dyed blonde hair, wore an all-black top and pants, and had heavy black eyeshadow. But even with such an exaggerated look, it couldn't hide her petite, adorable face. She didn't normally live at home, and that time she hadn't come back to celebrate me. She'd come to ask for money. Mr. and Mrs. Taylor were very angry, but many guests had come that day, so they couldn't make a scene and had to give Sophia Taylor the money. After getting the money, her mood visibly improved. She even raised her glass and clinked it with mine, saying, "Thanks, bookworm." That was the first thing she said to me, and the second was the "I do" she said at the wedding. The next day, a light rain began to fall, and I had to pause the repair work and take a day off. I was eating while scrolling through comments from netizens when my phone rang again, but this time it wasn't Sophia Taylor calling. I answered, and an anxious voice came through immediately. "Hello, are you Lily Taylor's father? Lily was hit by a car and is now at the hospital. She only remembers your phone number. Please come right away. Hospital." Without a second thought, I grabbed my coat and dashed out into the rain. By the time I finally rushed to the hospital, Lily Taylor had already been wheeled into the operating room. The doctor saw me and scolded. "Why did you only just arrive?" "Sorry, I live out in the country. It takes me a while to get here." "How is Lily doing now?" "Not very good. The car ran over her lower leg and caused a comminuted fracture. Fortunately, a kind citizen brought the child to the hospital in time. Otherwise, that leg might not have been saved." As he spoke, the operating room door opened and Lily Taylor was pushed out. "The child is still under anesthesia, but luckily the leg was saved. We'll transfer her to a regular ward for now." When I got to the ward, I folded back the covers and saw the heavy cast and the dense bandages on Lily Taylor's leg, and my heart ached. But custody of her wasn't mine after all. so I called Sophia Taylor. When she learned Lily Taylor was in the hospital, she looked bewildered at first. After I told her I was there too, she breathed a sigh of relief. I still have some work to deal with here. Stay with Lily a little longer. I'll be there soon. She spoke sweetly, but I waited from morning until night. At that moment, Lily Taylor also woke up, though her mind was still a bit foggy. Water, water! I dipped a cotton swab in some water and gently wiped her lips. Only then did she feel somewhat more comfortable. When she saw that the person at the bedside was me, she couldn't hold back her tears and cried out, "Daddy." It was the first time she had called me Daddy so clearly. I trembled as if struck by electricity, feeling a surge of exhilaration throughout my body. Only then did Sophia Taylor arrive late, carrying a cake. "Lily, look, Mommy brought you your favorite little cake." She carried the cake to the bedside and was about to open it when I stopped her with a cold face. "The doctor said you can't eat cake while you're hospitalized. Only easily digestible foods." "Oh, fine. Besides the little cake, I also brought your favorite little toy. Hold it while you sleep at night, and you won't be scared." "No, I want to hear Daddy tell a story." Lily Taylor pouted. Hearing that, Sophia Taylor looked at me, eyes full of expectation. "Since the kids say so, why don't we?" "Sorry, I've already given up her custody. I came today just to help pay her medical bills. Caregiving is your responsibility, and you can tell her stories yourself." After saying that, I looked at Lily Taylor. "From now on, remember to memorize your mom's phone number. Don't call me for everything. Also, keep calling me Uncle Ethan." "Dad, I don't want to. You are my dad." I raised my hand to stop her and walked straight out the door. Sophia Taylor immediately chased after me, blocked me at the doorway, and hissed in a low voice, "Ethan Johnson, is this fun for you? I've already apologized to you. What more do you want? I just want you to stop bothering me. That's all. Then I'm telling you now, Lily, and I need you back. If you don't agree, I'll pester you every day so you can't live in peace." I gave a faint smile and said, "The doctor said that after Lily wakes up, the anesthesia will wear off quickly. You should go back and spend more time with her." No sooner had I finished speaking than Lily Taylor's hysterical screams echoed from the ward. I turned to leave. Sophia Taylor glanced left and right, then finally rushed back into the ward. The rain was still falling. I drove the tricycle slowly home through the rain. No one can say something like that to their own child without feeling some turmoil. I was of course no exception. It's just that Lily Taylor is more dependent on me, which isn't necessarily good for her. Only by being with Sophia Taylor can she truly learn to grow independently. Just like I told her countless times before to watch where she was going, but because I was always by her side, she never listened. Now that this car accident happened, she will probably learn a lesson to some extent. As for whether she'll hate me, I think it's highly likely, but I don't care. Anyway, her custody was in Sophia Taylor's hands. We might never see each other again. I parked the car at the edge of a cliff, took out the SIM card, hesitated for a long time, and in the end still didn't throw it away. I was afraid Lily Taylor wouldn't remember Sophia Taylor's number, and if something similar happened again in the future, no one would be there to save her. But I didn't expect that this small oversight would let Sophia Taylor find me again. She had changed to a new number. I picked up the phone, and the moment I heard her voice, I was already very angry. "I thought I told you not to call me? Do you just enjoy sticking your warm face to a cold?" But this was the first time I had said something so harsh to Sophia Taylor. Before, if I raised my voice even a little, she would get upset. But this time, she surprisingly didn't get angry. Instead, she sounded somewhat meek. "Ethan Johnson," I asked my parents, and they said they've long forgotten where your hometown is. "Can you tell me where you are now? I really miss you." Hearing her humbling tone, a surge of inexplicable anger rose in me. Over the past few years, she had many chances to lower her stance a bit, to give me a way out so I wouldn't be so humiliated. But she never did. Every time she made a scene and left me utterly disgraced. Now she puts on this act. It's too late. I clenched my fists tightly, forcing myself to suppress the urge to roar, and spoke word by word. "Where my hometown has nothing to do with you. Whether you miss me or not is none of my business. Right now, I just want to sever ties with you completely. Stop bothering me. You're really annoying, incredibly annoying. Get lost." After I finished speaking, I hung up the phone, angrily took out the SIM card, and threw it into the trash. Freed from the restraint of the SIM card, my world suddenly became a lot quieter. After a while, the restoration work on the old house was nearing completion, and my follower count had surpassed 500,000. When I first graduated, I always thought about earning more money, staying in a big city like New York, and making everyone look up to me. But now my mind has changed. I want to stay in the place that gave me life and raised me. Before, Sophia Taylor's girlfriends would always mock me. A country bumpkin coming here, wanting to be a city person, that's hilarious. Sophia is the trendiest here. You dress like that and still have a nerve to go out with her. Country bumpkin, go back to the countryside and farm. At that time, although I was very angry, I still had to smile and go along with them. I once tried to shake off labels like country bumpkin and yokel, but now I think there's nothing wrong with it. This is who I am. By contrast, those with little education who are still self-satisfied are the truly frightening ones. When the final wall was painted, the old house renovation was completely finished, and my old house renovation series videos came to an end. After the house was tidied up, I began arranging this dream home according to my own ideas. There was no need to mention the furniture, and I had to buy new cookware as well. As for food, I cleared a vegetable patch in the yard, and there are several acres of our family land outside the village where I plan to grow some fruit. Besides that, a computer and a game console were absolute musts. For various reasons, I had postponed playing games with friends, but now we could finally arrange it. In the world of games, I rediscovered the youth and thrills I had in school. When my classmates learned about my divorce, no one comforted me. Instead, there were cheers and congratulations. You finally got divorced. How long has it been since we played games together? Mid Lane Sniper is finally coming online. Long live divorce. I'm getting divorced too, currently in the divorce cooling off period, cooling off my ass. It's so great playing games alone. Luchin. Mine feels amazing today. Just don't throw the game, okay? Watching the class group chat that had been quiet for years come back to life, I felt like I had returned to my school days and suddenly felt energized. When I learned that 2 classmates had divorced and hadn't found a place to live, I invited them to stay with me. Soon, my little house that had been so quiet became lively, and former classmates and friends would drive over to hang out from time to time. Damn, your house is huge. I spent $200,000 to buy a place of less than 100 square feet, and your house must be at least 300 to 400 square feet, with a second floor to boot. I'm such an idiot. And this vegetable patch, this is exactly what I've dreamed of. Can I grow some vegetables here? No problem at all. I decided. I'm going to live here permanently. Hurry up and start charging me rent. They got more and more excited. I smiled and said, no rent. Come whenever you want. Just don't mind that the rooms here are small. We don't mind. Right after graduation, I even slept in a bathroom. These rooms are already great. Ethan, you said your room looks like a bathroom. You're talking nonsense. With my friends by my side, my mood and energy improved more and more, and even my white hairs decreased a lot. The doctor had already said I was too tense and needed to relax. But in that house, I simply couldn't relax. Now I can sleep until I wake naturally every day, and when I wake, there's a steaming breakfast. In the mornings, I play games and chat and shoot the breeze with friends. In the afternoons, I take a nap, and when I get up, I go to the hills to plant vegetables, enjoy the breeze, and pick some wild fruit. While I was with Sophia Taylor, time always felt slow. Now I always feel time passes too quickly. Time spent with friends are always joyful. Until Sophia Taylor appeared again, accompanied by Lily Taylor, who was sitting in a wheelchair. Seeing this, my friends whispered and asked me, Ethan, do you need any help? I shook my head and told them to go back first. How did you find this place? I asked with a cold face. Sophia Taylor's lips trembled slightly. She forced a smile and said, Ethan Johnson, could you not be so cold? You came all this way just to tell me that. It's Lily. She misses you. Sophia Taylor shoved Lily Taylor forward as a human shield, but I wasn't moved at all and asked again. I'll ask one more time. How did you find this place? Ever since Mr. and Mrs. Taylor took me away, I never returned to my hometown. When I got married, I wanted to come back and offer incense for my parents, but they refused with the excuse that there are too many relatives, it's inconvenient. So, Sophia Taylor absolutely could not possibly know that my family home is here. Sophia Taylor pressed her lips together, seeming afraid I would get angry. After a moment, she spoke. I saw your video and followed the location in the video to find this place. As she said that, she took out her phone. On the screen was plainly the homepage of my video account. I wasn't surprised by this. After all, I'm somewhat well known now, so it wasn't strange that she could find this place. Since you've already seen it, I'll be straightforward. I'm living with friends now, and we don't want unrelated people bothering us. You should leave and don't come bother me again. I'm begging you. We're divorced. Legally, we have no relationship. Do you understand? Tears brimmed in Sophia Taylor's eyes. She whispered to me, "I'm sorry, I acted impulsively. Can you forgive me? Lily is still young, and I don't want her to be a child without a father. Finish talking? Then you can leave." I walked into the room with a cold face and locked the door behind me. They were the ones who abandoned me first, and now they want to aim me into going back. Impossible. Lily Taylor was outside, crying her heart out, repeatedly calling for Daddy. My friends were all looking at me, seemingly waiting for my reaction. I asked one of them for a cigarette and sat on the steps to smoke. I raised Lily Taylor by myself. Saying I have no feelings for her would be a lie. But the Taylor family's brainwashing was so successful that it made her see me as nothing more than a housekeeper. That's why she kept calling me Uncle Ethan. After she turned 3, she became even more distant from me. Except when she needed me to help with something, she almost never spoke to me. "Uncle Ethan, can you help me with this problem? Uncle Ethan, why did you go to the party with Mom? Are you afraid of embarrassing her? Uncle Ethan, why do you always wear the same clothes? Mom's friends dress much better than you." Lily Taylor cried outside the door for nearly an hour before she gradually stopped. From that day on, Sophia Taylor stayed in the village. She was like someone possessed, squatting at my doorstep every day. Whenever I went out, she would greet me with a smiling face. Sometimes when I came back from the mountain, I could still see her cooking in my kitchen, but what she made always turned into a charred mess, wasting both firewood and food. Later, I made it clear that she was no longer allowed to enter my home. A friend asked me puzzled, "What exactly did she do to make you dislike her so much?" My answer remained the same: it depends. Sophia Taylor was never a patient person. The bright lights and temptations of New York, like ants, kept nibbling away at that small bit of determination she had. Finally, on a gray morning, she drove away from that little village and returned to the city life she knew. She didn't come, but Lily Taylor would still drop by to see me from time to time. She didn't know what I liked. Every time she came, she would bring a storybook, begging me to read a passage to her. She seemed to think that telling stories was my hobby, but in reality, who would have such a thankless, exhausting hobby? Sophia Taylor would occasionally come, but she no longer dared set foot across my doorstep. She could only follow silently behind me when I went out. But the country roads were too rough, and after a stretch, she often couldn't keep up and would slink away. After a while, their behavior made me increasingly irritable. So I let my friends know and quietly drove out of the small village. I once dreamed of roaming the world with a sword, but reality snuffed that out early. Now that I finally have the chance, of course I must seize it. The day after I left, friends at home told me that Sophia Taylor had gone mad, asking them where I had gone. Fortunately, I had anticipated this and hadn't told my friends where I was going. Later, my friends told me that Sophia Taylor went to the village a few more times to confirm I had really left, and then never went again. Lily Taylor was the same. On the road of my self-driving trip, I began sharing my travel videos again. I didn't care whether Sophia Taylor would learn my location from the videos, because my location changed every day. Although the travel videos weren't as popular as the old house renovation videos, the fans I had accumulated were still there, and the views were decent, enough to cover my expenses in dollars while traveling. Just like that, I drove aimlessly, spending half a year seeing many places and meeting many people. I drank with a homeless man on the old city's ramparts, listened to a street singer perform beneath the clock tower, and smoked with local elders at the edge of a vast, uninhabited expanse. Before I knew it, my follower count had surpassed 1 million, and the platform officially invited me to Washington to attend this year's gala. Counting the time, it's been a long time since I left home. It's time to go back. The hardships on the road and the stunning scenery along the way have already pushed my previous worries out of my mind. The authorities sent me a plane ticket. I had the car shipped back and asked a friend to drive it to the village. I boarded the plane to Washington. At the official ceremony, I met many veterans from the industry, exchanged experiences with them, and met and took photos with fans. Although it had been only a short 6 months, I was already a different person. A layer of fat gone from my body, my skin roughened by wind and sand, and I had grown a beard. But this is exactly the currently most popular mature uncle vibe. After the ceremony began, I watched the seniors around me go on stage one after another to accept their awards, and I was full of admiration. But I never imagined that I would actually win an award, Dark Horse of the Year. This unexpected happiness caught me off guard, and my hands were trembling when I went on stage to accept the award. I don't even know how I managed to ramble through that acceptance speech. After the ceremony, I was swarmed by a group of fans as I left the venue, and I immediately saw Sophia Taylor and Lily Taylor standing just outside. It had been a long time since I'd seen them. Lily Taylor's leg had healed, and she was standing next to Sophia Taylor, holding a bouquet of flowers. Seeing me looking at them, Lily Taylor immediately broke into a joyful smile and ran over, shouting from afar, "Dad!" All the fans were stunned by that scene. Only I kept a cold face as I watched her push through the crowd and throw herself into my arms. Sophia Taylor came over too, and, as if it were the most natural thing, linked her arm with mine and said, "Congratulations. I knew you could do it." The onlooking fans immediately showed expressions of "got it" on their faces. But my heart was full of revulsion, and I snatched my arm out of her embrace. "Ethan, aren't you going to introduce who they are?" A nosy fan asked. I glanced indifferently at Sophia Taylor and Lily Taylor and said lightly, "My ex-wife, and a kid who only listens to her mother." After speaking, I walked straight out of the venue. Sophia Taylor and Lily Taylor immediately followed, and Sophia Taylor, blushing, said, "I didn't expect you to be making videos. Why have I never heard you mention it before? If you told me earlier, I would have definitely supported you." Yeah. Dad looked so handsome when he went on stage to accept the award just now. I almost cried. Lily Taylor added. I pretended not to hear them and continued on my own toward the official shuttle bus. At that moment, Sophia Taylor suddenly grabbed me and then knelt down in front of everyone. "Ethan Johnson, I'm sorry. I was too headstrong before. Only after the divorce did I realize how important you are to me. If you're willing to come back, I'll agree to anything." By doing this so openly, she instantly drew the attention of everyone outside the venue. Seeing her like that, a strange twinge ran through me. Not pity, but anger. "What? Want to ruin me?" I asked with a cold laugh. Sophia Taylor hastily looked up and said, "No, I just don't want to lose you. But I've long wanted to lose you, even in my dreams. I'll say it one last time, don't bother me again." After the awards ceremony, I deliberately concealed my whereabouts. But Mr. and Mrs. Taylor still found me. When they took me away back then, they were in the prime of life, full of vigor and confidence. Now, they had become elderly with graying temples. My feelings for them are complicated. I am very grateful to them. They gave me a hand when I was at my lowest. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to continue my studies. But I also resent them. They were the ones who pushed me into the big pit that is Sophia Taylor, leaving me no way to escape even if I wanted to. We were silent for a long time before Mrs. Taylor spoke first. "Ethan, how have you been recently?" Pretty well. I know you and Sophia had some unpleasantness before. In principle, as parents we shouldn't meddle too much, but now Sophia and Lily are so distracted by you that they can't eat or sleep, and Lily's grades have plummeted. Do you want to see that situation? I admit we treated you badly before, but you're a father now too. You need to understand our feelings. We only want to give Sophia a stable future. This time I'm begging you as a mother. Come back. Don't be stubborn anymore. At this moment, she was no longer the cruel woman who secretly called me lazy and gluttonous. She was just an old woman about to reach the end of her life. Mr. Taylor had always been a very stern man. Now he could only sit beside her and keep sighing. I think if it weren't for Sophia Taylor and Lily Taylor, they wouldn't have calmly sat down to talk to me. At most they think I still have some use. I didn't throw a tantrum, and it wasn't a whim. Divorce is something I've been thinking about for a long time. I took a deep breath and continued. From you cursing me behind my back, to Sophia staying out all night, to you teaching Lily to call me uncle at home every time I thought about divorce. But every time I held back, because I wanted to repay your kindness. Now I've done as you wished. Let our daughter take the Taylor name and willingly given up all assets, leaving with nothing. Isn't it time you cut me some slack? I spoke the words I kept bottled up for years in the calmest voice I could muster. I used to live solely for Mr. and Mrs. Taylor's expectations. They wanted me to do well in my studies, so I worked myself to the bone to make them proud. They wanted me to marry Sophia Taylor, so I did. Knowing about her past, I still offered not a single complaint. They wanted me to take a job closer to home so I could look after Sophia and Lily, and I did as they asked. You could say that since I was 15, I became a machine that constantly met their needs. Now the machine's fuel has run out, and I want to rest. More importantly, Mom, this is the last time I will call you that. I no longer like Sophia. Please tell her not to come looking for me anymore. It's completely over between us. Mr. and Mrs. Taylor said nothing more, silently stood up and left. Their figures were stooped, as if they had aged decades in an instant. That night, a light rain began to fall. Sophia Taylor appeared outside my door. She stood in the rain like a drenched cat, shouting at me. Ethan Johnson, I know it was all my fault before. Can we start over? This time, I'll be the one to chase you. Saying that, she reached out her hand and said to me, Hi, I'm Sophia Taylor. Nice to meet you. Seeing me look at her in silence, her eyes reddened as she said, You should tell me your name. I remained unmoved. Sophia Taylor immediately pouted and acted coquettishly. If you don't tell me, I'll just stand in the rain. I'll leave whenever you say so. The next instant, I flung the door open and ran out, standing in the rain with her. Sophia Taylor, we're adults now. Can you stop being so childish? Getting wet in the rain isn't a big deal. If you won't leave, I'll stay and get wet with you. If you truly cared for me, you wouldn't make me get rained on too, would you? Hearing my words, Sophia Taylor was slightly stunned for a moment. Then she smiled and said, You finally talk so much to me. Looks like you still have feelings for me. I'm just trying to tell you that a broken mirror can't be restored. From the moment you gave up on me, you should have expected this outcome. I never gave up on you. I just didn't know how to love someone. Now I understand and want to treat you well with all my heart. But you won't give me the chance. Go back. I left those words and turned to walk into the house. Sophia Taylor shouted loudly from behind me. What about Lily? What will happen to her? Are you really heartless enough to let her grow up without a father at such a young age? I didn't even look back as I said, With your charms, it shouldn't be hard to find her a dad richer and more handsome than me, right? Does she really think I didn't know where she used to go when she stayed out all night? Sure enough, Sophia Taylor stood there like a punctured balloon, dazed, and after a long while she left feeling dejected. After that departure, Sophia Taylor never came to see me again, and I didn't have time to look after her, because after the incident at the entrance of the last award ceremony was sensationalized by the media, I became a scumbag who abandoned his wife and children, a textbook fall from grace case in the industry, and lost hundreds of thousands of followers overnight. The comment sections were full of people cursing me, as if I had become a public enemy overnight, a rat everyone wanted to beat. Worse, someone found where I lived and smashed my windows with stones and beer bottles, forcing me to move. But those busybodies always managed to find me by any means. Just as I boarded the shuttle back home, a young man wearing a cap suddenly smashed a beer bottle into my head, spat out the word scumbag, and hurriedly ran off. I only had time to see the blonde hair under his cap before I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was already lying in a hospital bed, with Sophia Taylor and Lily Taylor anxiously standing by my side. Seeing that I was awake, Lily Taylor immediately held a cup of warm water and carefully brought it to my lips. Dad, drink. Sophia Taylor adjusted my hospital bed up a little and said gently. I rushed over as soon as I got the news. I never expected those fans would do something like this, but don't worry, the police are already checking the surveillance footage and they'll catch that person soon. I rubbed my aching eyes, sat up, and silently looked at Sophia Taylor. She thought I was moved and excited continued. See, if it weren't for Lily and me being here today, no one would be taking care of you. Don't try to be strong anymore. Come back. The three of us together is more important than anything. That person, you arranged it, didn't you? I suddenly blurted out. Sophia Taylor was momentarily stunned, then quickly waved her hand. How could that be? What kind of person do you think I am? Isn't it? But that person had blonde hair and looks a lot like your friend Jake Miller. He stared at her intensely. Her gaze began to wander, trying to avoid mine, and she stammered, There are plenty of blondes in the world. Who says it has to be my friend? Is that so? But I could hear his accent, your friend Jake Miller's accent, and it's pretty strong. Ethan Johnson, what do you mean? You suspect me? Sophia Taylor stood up instantly, her face full of anger as she looked at me. I came here with good intentions to take care of you, and you won't even appreciate it. And you suspect me. I want to get back together with you, but I'm not going to use such disgusting tactics, am I? After saying that, she took Lily Taylor's hand and said, Lily, let's go. Lily Taylor held onto the hospital bed and refused to leave, shouting, Mom's lying. I clearly heard you tell Uncle Jake that we should get rid of Dad, make him hospitalized. We'll take care of him for a while, and Dad will come back to us. Lily Taylor is very clever. When she says something like that, it's certainly not accidental, but I couldn't be bothered to guess her thoughts. As for what I just said, it was true. Blame Sophia Taylor for being too careless. When she video called Jake Miller at home, she always had the speaker on, which made me remember Jake's accent. After Lily Taylor exposed her, Sophia Taylor's face instantly went deathly pale, and then she collapsed to the ground with a thud. Ethan Johnson, I didn't mean to. Can you forgive me? You should say that to the police. Turn yourself in now. Maybe you'll get a lighter sentence. Sophia Taylor's eyes gradually dimmed. I continued. Also, to me, a family of 3 is far less important than 1,000 friends. No sooner had I finished speaking than the ward door was pushed open and 2 police officers, along with my friends, squeezed in. My friends gathered around my hospital bed, chatting and laughing. The police had taken Sophia Taylor away. At that moment, Lily Taylor leaned over to me and quietly asked, "Dad, I sent Mom to prison. Will you raise me?" I looked at her and smiled slightly. "Mom's in prison. Don't you still have Mrs. Taylor and Mr. Taylor? What does that have to do with me?" Lily Taylor's expression immediately froze. Then she burst into tears. "I don't want to," but her sobs were soon drowned out by her friend's laughter.